Hello, I'm Svetlana from PresentPerfect Creations Studio, and thank you for joining me at this tutorial today. We're going to be making this lovely spring corsage of camellia japonica flowers, which consist of a bud, a small flower and a medium flower. For those of you who would like to know how to make a large camellia flower, there will be a bonus tutorial on my YouTube channel. Knowing how to make four of the elements of camellia, you have a good opportunity to create a wide range of different accessories. You can make a corsage as we're making today. You can also put camellia flower on a comb to make a hairpiece. You can also make a headband like I have here, so the opportunities are endless. Before we start making it, though, I would like to talk you through the materials and tools that we will require to make this corsage. I'll start with the fabrics. We're going to be using four kinds of fabrics today. It's satin fabric for the petals and calyxes, which is a very nice, shiny, smooth fabric. And it works very well in this case because camellia petals, as you know, are quite thick and glossy and shiny. We will require some lining fabric, which is usually a very thin silk. We will need it for lining all our elements, including petals and leaves as well. Then we'll need some cotton velvet for wrapping our stems in this, and headband if you wish. And also for leaves I'm using this specialized Japanese material, which is basically fabric coated with plastic, but it looks very natural when you make leaves of camellia out of this. If you don't have this specialized fabric, and probably you won't, you can substitute it with the satin, which we're going to be using for the petals anyway. We will need 3 gauges of wire, or at least 2 if you don't have 3. One should be thinner for petals. I'm using gauge 30 here, and the other is gauge 26, going to be used for the leaves. Gauge 24 is good to be used for the stems, but if you don't have it, you can always substitute it with 2 wires of gauge 26. We will of course need our templates, and you're going to get those with your tutorial. We'll need some small stamens for this, a brooch pin because we're making a corsage, a pen or a pencil to trace your templates on the fabric, some cotton wool. I'm using a sheet cotton wool here. A little piece of it. If you don't have sheet and cotton wool, you can just use cotton balls or any cotton wool you can source. If you are not going to make a white camellia flower, then you'll be needing some dyes. Here I have some powder dyes in powder form. To mix the dyes, I'm going to be using the little dishes, porcelain dishes like this. If you don't have the dishes, you can just use the palette, normal palette, and the brushes, of course. Here are specialized brushes for painting flowers. They're made of deer hair, but if you don't have those, you can always use normal synthetic brushes from any art shop. Just go for the flat ones, they will work better in this case. And newspaper on which I paint and dry my parts of flower. If you don't like the newspaper, you can always substitute it with just some plain white absorbing paper. If you go for a newspaper, don't take any fresh one because that might potentially mark petals or leaves. Just take some old one. The glue. We'll need 2 kinds of glue. One is a bit thinner, it's used for lining the elements with lining silk and takes a bit longer to dry, and a thicker one, quick drying tacky glue, which is good for assembling the flowers and dries very, very quickly. For applying the glue, we will need a toothbrush or a brush a toothbrush works very well. And also a piece of plastic, just a piece of plastic folder or something like that, or a glass, to apply the glue on it. Also, it's good to have a Ziploc plastic bag where you can put your elements, because we need them to stay moist before we shape them. An A4 folder will also work. A pair of tweezers for shaping the edge of the flowers, sharp scissors, pliers and wire cutters as well. And of course we will need a flower iron. Here I'm using a heat-proof mat. If you have a stand for your flower iron, you don't need that. We're using these 5 heads for the flower iron. It's 2 round ones, 1 centimeter and 2.5 centimeter in diameter, and 3 spoons, 1 very thin one, 2 medium ones, 1 smooth and 1 has a groove in it. Keep a moistened cloth all the time at your workplace, because then you can wipe the glue off your fingers with it, you can check how hot your flower iron is, you can cool it with it, so it's very useful. And for working with flower iron you will need a rubber mat. I'm using a medium softness one, which is about 1 centimeter thick and pretty firm. This is what we require for making our camellia corsage flower today, and let's get creative.